What if I told you there was a robotic training device that you could attach to your body and it would improve your muscle strength by 50% in 8 weeks? Well, this is a bit of a different study to the one we might normally cover, but that is exactly what these people looked at. Now, this paper was published in August 2024, so if you are watching this video as it comes out, you are going to be one of the first people to hear about this. My name is George, I'm a published researcher and I specialise in muscle health, so without further ado, let's get started with the study in question for today. So who was this study looking at? Well, they recruited 12 people in total and they had an average age of 22, so my hunch is that they recruited just university students, and these were all men who were considered untrained. So to be part of the study, you had to have very limited to no experience of weight training in the last few years. What did these researchers look at? What did they want to do to these participants? And this is the moment you've all been waiting for, because this is where the robotic suit comes in. Now, I've been calling it a robotic device, but really what the technical term is a variable resistance suit. Essentially, this is a device that is fitted around a joint, so whether that be the elbow or the knee joint, and on the device is essentially a pulley system. And these circle things that you see on the image, these are 3 mechanical dampers. And the role of those is to provide opposing force that is directly proportional to the speed of which the movement is being conducted. Which in less technical terms means that when someone is bending or straightening their arm or leg, the device is essentially working against them. And the harder you push or pull, the device will increase the resistance to match your effort. The device is also easily adjustable, so there are 8 different levels of force resistance. So you could have it on kind of high resistance or lower. So with this machine, participants were asked to train 3 times a week, and they were following a fairly similar resistance training program that you would do with weights. They did 6 sets of 12 repetitions for each of the following movements. They had elbow extension and flexion, so essentially a bicep curl and a tricep pushdown, and then the same with their legs, so essentially a leg extension and a leg curl. So the participants did this for the 8 weeks, but what exactly were the researchers interested in measuring? Well, both before and then after the program, researchers measured muscle strength, but not in your typical way. Rather than testing their 1 rep max on the squat or a bicep curl, they used a fancy, very expensive bit of kit called a isokinetic dynamometer. This piece of equipment essentially looks like a real amped up leg extension that you might find in the gym, but it is connected to a computer that you can run different testing protocols on, and it can measure the amount of force that someone is able to exert with a very high degree of accuracy. The researchers also looked at muscle size, but interestingly they didn't find any differences there, which after 8 weeks of training untrained people, you might expect they would gain some muscle, and I'm going to put that down to the relatively small amount of people in the study as to why they didn't see any major changes. But with that in mind, what were the results in terms of the strength? Did they improve their strength between week 0 and week 8? Well, yes they did, and they did so by quite a significant amount, 49.9% as an average across all of the muscles. Now, to give you some context, this is pretty comparable to what you would see with a normal resistance training routine. If you took untrained people and asked them to train with weights, you might see a pretty similar improvement. And when they looked at the individual muscles in terms of the strength changes, they actually found that the lower body improved in strength more than the upper body. So around 60% gain in leg strength versus around 40% in their biceps and triceps. But I think the biggest thing that we can take from this study is that resistance of any form is effective at improving our muscle strength. And it doesn't have to be through traditional methods like lifting weights. Your muscles don't know the difference. But what about the device itself? Well, obviously, yes, if this thing ever comes to market, it would probably have some interest. And it might be a pretty useful training tool, but only in very limited circumstances. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find someone who will spend the probably thousands of pounds or dollars to buy one of these when they could just get a gym membership or weights of their own. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. In front of me here, I have a list of brand new studies that I'm going to cover over the next few weeks. So if you're not subscribed already, do hit subscribe, and I will see you soon in another video.